Hi YouTube, it's Jessica. I am so excited today because today is the day I get to see the surgeon. You'll have to forgive the wet hair at the moment. It is bright and early. I am off to the hospital to see what's going on with my wrist. Hopefully get some answers about what type of surgery I'll need, how bad the wrist is, and when we might be able to get surgery done. So I will take you along with me. Probably won't be able to film inside the hospital, of course, because privacy and all that, but I will take you along as much as I can and I will keep you updated. Yay! Just a note for those of you who don't know me, I work evenings. I am not a morning person. This is very early for me to be up. It just occurred to me that it has been like 5 or 6 months since I've been to this clinic in the hospital. I don't actually remember where in the hospital it is, and for those of you who have never been there, St. Paul's is a pretty confusing place. It has 2 buildings with like hallways that twist in weird ways you don't expect, so yeah, I should probably look that up before we get there. Yeah, so we are at the hospital now, and yeah, just as I thought, 1 minute inside the hospital and we are already lost. But I know we're going to the 3rd floor of the Burrard building, so yeah, that long, confusing hospital. Alright, so I am back from the hospital, have had lunch and time to process everything I heard. So the bone is far worse than what we thought it was in January. The x-ray in January showed the bone had fractured and was in 2 pieces. Now the surgeon looked at the CT scan that I did 2.5 weeks ago, and he described it pretty much as looking at crumbs. He said the lunate bone is in so many pieces that he can't even count them. We went over my surgical options. Obviously, given that the bone is in pieces, conservative options like revascularization are not, I knew they wouldn't be an option. But I had gone in thinking that a partial row carpectomy, PRC, would probably be the option he would suggest, just because I've been involved in some Kienbock groups on Facebook, and that seems to be the most common surgery that people are getting when they have advanced stages of Kienbock's. But looking at the CT scan, he said that I am not a candidate for PRC. And just to give a basic overview, PRC is a surgery where they remove the 3 bottom bones in your wrist, the scaphoid bone, the lunate, and the triquetrum. He said I'm not a candidate for that surgery because the bone just above the lunate, the capitate bone, has apparently started losing a lot of cartilage to the point that there basically is no cartilage left there. And he didn't get into details about why you need cartilage on the capitate bone, but he said that the fact that there's no cartilage there means a PRC is not on the table. Silver lining is that from my own research, I had thought that if a PRC wasn't available, then a full fusion would be the only option, which is a surgery where they put a plate, you know, fully on your arm and your hand, and then you can no longer bend like this. So when he said PRC was not an option, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to get a fusion. But thankfully, he said there is an intermediate option, a partial fusion, in which they only fuse the 3 bones in my hand. They won't fuse it fully to the ulna or the radius, so I will still be able to bend. He couldn't really give an idea of when I might be able to get that surgery. Obviously, we just went through the COVID-19 pandemic. We're still going through it. So surgeries, you know, there's a backlog, things have been delayed. So he couldn't like give a solid idea of when I might be able to get in. but he thought maybe within the next 4 or 5 months would be a reasonable estimate, and possibly sooner if I tell the hospital that I'm willing to go on a cancellation list, which I will do that. My life is such that I can rearrange things really quickly if I have to. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Sometimes in the next half year or so, I'll be getting that surgery. It should hopefully be the only surgery I need. He did mention there's a possibility either in the short term or even the long term that the partial fusion might not hold up and they might eventually have to move to a full fusion. But for now, we're going to go with the partial. And hopefully that'll help a lot. He said it should provide a lot of pain relief. He said generally people after the partial fusion have about 70% range of motion, compared to a normal person, and maybe like 80% grip strength, which I'm fine with. I'm basically at 60 or 70% range of motion right now. I don't really mind if no range of motion comes back. My main concern is I don't want range of motion to get worse, and I want the pain to go away. So I will keep you guys updated. I will probably do a new video, hopefully in the upcoming weeks, explaining more what this partial fusion, it's called an STT fusion, what that will actually involve, what bones, how they do it, whatnot. And until then, I hope everyone takes care, continue to keep safe during the pandemic, and particularly if you're watching from the US, I hope everyone's staying safe in the protests that are going on. Yeah, so we'll see you soon.